Welcome back to Free Media. I'm Amber Duke.
And I'm Robby Soave. Well, the Trump tariffs are on pause for now after an appeals court ruled that the president exceeded his emergency powers.
A big defeat for President Trump. Breaking news in our money lead. A federal appeals court has just ruled against President Trump's sweeping global tariffs, saying he unlawfully leaned on emergency powers to impose tariffs. President Trump just reacted to the tariff ruling, saying that all tariffs are still in effect. He called the appeals court highly partisan and said that the United States Supreme Court was going to get involved. Let's bring in Neil Kochel. He represents some of the plaintiffs in this case. He's also the former acting U.S. Solicitor General for President Obama. Neil, your reaction to the ruling, your reaction to President Trump seeming to suggest that he's going to appeal this to the U.S. Supreme Court?
Well, we're just studying the ruling. I had the privilege of arguing it on behalf of the Liberty Justice Center and a group of private plaintiffs, Jake. And I guess I'd start by saying I don't view this as you started by saying it's a defeat for President Trump. I think the way to think about it is it's a win for the American Constitution, that our founders basically said that decisions that are major over things like taxation have to be done by the Congress, not by the president and the stroke of his pen. And the idea, as President Trump says, that this is like some highly partisan court or something. I mean, the senior most judge in the majority to rule against Donald Trump was a guy appointed by President Bush, Judge Lurie. So I don't buy that whatsoever. I think the court overwhelmingly today in a 7-4 decision rejected President Trump's notion that he can do whatever he wants, whenever he wants.
Trump did not take kindly to the decision, complaining on Truth Social that without tariffs and all of the trillions of dollars we have already taken in, our country would be completely destroyed and our military power would be instantly obliterated.
Excellent, Amber.
Thank you.
Yours is much better than mine. So I hate Trump's tariffs, and I hate emergency powers, and I hate executive orders. So I'm pretty satisfied with this one. This is the issue I just don't budge on. I hate tariffs. The emergency power statute doesn't even have the word tariffs or taxes in it. Look, they control Congress, and if tariffs were such a good idea, he could get Republicans to do it, but he can't, because actually not enough Republicans will vote for it, because even though this party is totally beholden to him and no one wants to go against him on anything, even they know deep down that this, in most cases, ranges from a kind of hard to defend idea to a idiotic idea. Tariffs are just taxes. And when he talks about the trillions we're making, okay, well, you could generate trillions of dollars by raising income tax to astronomical levels, right? We could soak the billionaires, the millionaires, the way Bernie Sanders wants to do.
You have a better Bernie impression than Trump.
Thank you. But we pro-market capitalist people understand that, well, you can just make more money by confiscating wealth from the people. That's for the government. That's not something I want to see happen.
We will obviously see what happens when the Trump administration appeals this. Yeah. I don't think anyone is surprised at this decision or the fact that there were legal challenges against his implementation of tariffs. Now, I obviously have a much different view on tariffs than you. I think you do have to admit, though, that there have been two sort of beneficial things that have come out of the tariffs, which is one, he's negotiated better trade deals with a bevy of countries, most recently with the European Union, obviously not country, but territory, whatever. And then also
dystopia, a hellscape.
Yeah, a hellscape with the free speech contingent in the new trade deal is actually really important, obviously.
UK just
arrested a comedian.
Yep.
I was just talking to Harry Cole about that at the National Conservatism Conference.
Awful.
It is insane. For people who don't know, this comedian got off a plane in London and was immediately arrested for making a joke about transgender people.
Tweets about trans people,
Yeah, it really is a hellscape. Unbelievable. Well, it might happen here. I don't know. I think we might be next. But that being said, getting those types of rules in place for trading with the U.S. is obviously hugely important. You don't get to fine our big tech companies for allowing free speech on their social media platforms and expect favorable trade deals. Sure. So that's great. And I think if we get to lower tariffs overall across the board with countries that have really been hammering American exports, that's a really huge benefit as well. And then the other side of the tariffs that we have been told repeatedly is that they were going to be hugely inflationary. We haven't seen that yet, right? We've seen the CPI actually come down. We've seen the rate of inflation come down under Trump. So far, those fears have been mostly assuaged by the negotiations and what's been happening. Granted, it's still early in the process. Sure. I'm not going to take a huge victory lap on that, but it does seem like the conventional economic wisdom has been flouted a bit.
I mean, there's no way around it. The market still love Trump. Now, the market, the stock market is so driven by, my understanding, from tech. The tech world now
and AI
and tech and AI love. Trump is really good on that stuff. The administration has, and this is a positive, has done a good job of saying that America is going to be the home of innovation in these in this sector. You can't trust Europe for the reasons we're just discussing. Right? They want to keep tech companies small and beaten and in a corner. And so America will remain their home, and that's good for the stock market. Overall inflation, you're right. I think I've seen a couple products, and I can't cite any off the top of my head, but that seem to have spiked in prices that seems pegged to specific tariffs. If tariffs as a negotiating tactic, I'm ambivalent to, if it works, that's great. I want to get our trade deals to a more positive place, and I think the smarter people in the administration know that that's the direction they want to take the tariffs, rather than people like Peter Navarro who think probably European-style lack of growth sounds just fine to him because he's concerned about population growth or something. So that's fine. So we'll see, but I just can't. I hope a higher court similarly decides that. It's not about Trump. I mean, I agree with what Neil Kochel said in that clip we played. It's not just about Trump. It's if any president can just unilaterally raise the effective tax rate, that is far too dangerous a tool to have in Democrats' hands. So I have to think some Republicans, maybe even some close members of the Trump administration, have to be thinking, that's a weapon we can't sharpen and hone for whoever the next administration is.
If you had to choose between increasing, and this is a binary choice, so you can't say no more money. Okay, so if it were raising the income tax to pay down the debt or tariffs to pay down the debt, which one would you choose?
That's really awful. I would let you pull the trigger. We can't have the income tax go up anymore, so I guess it would have to be tariffs, but I don't. That might even just be a personal, for me, that would be worse because I'm not a small business owner. Mm-hmm. But if you're a small business owner, you might very well say, I'll take the income tax because my whole business is crippled by this. So I bet that would be different for every American. We got to pay some level of taxes. It's fine. But I want the tax rate to be low and pretty equal for everybody, without having these weird positions like, if you're a super wealthy person who's paying no income tax because your wealth is structured as investments or something else, and that's not good either. But we can't. I know how difficult it is for businesses that rely on specific products they're bringing in, where if you their margins, their profit margins are so low that if you tinker even a little bit with their bottom line, you just kill them. The way restaurants, for example, in DC have been killed by having a tinkering of basically the minimum wage for the restaurant employees that now even Democrats in the city want to get rid of.
My other question is another binary choice.
I'm dead on it. So you shot me, so this is me now. This is blood dripping out.
Oh my gosh, that's really graphic. Okay.
Go ahead. Viscera.
Would you rather have income from tariffs, pay down the debt, or give a rebate check to Americans? Because that's the other debate that's been happening, right?
That's a fun one.
They've been talking about,
good.
You get $2,000, it's like a stimulus, but it's from the tariff revenue, or do you want us to just pay down some of the debt?
I mean, I guess I should go to the debt, even though if we just paid back to us, then
it would be more
just like you collected our money and gave it back to us, right? It would be a slight transfer of wealth from people who rely on imports to just all Americans.
And I think the rebate would probably be more inflationary.
Yeah, as we found out with the COVID CARES Act spending. All right, any more, or can
I'm done.
I'm riddled with bullets and we can move on?
Just submachine gun.
Okay. More free media right after this. Thanks very much.